How's everybody today? I think overall, after watching the last game, there were certainly some areas where we made some improvements, as a team. But I think overall, from start to finish, we didn't play the way we would like to play from a consistency standpoint. Um, we just weren't clean and crisp in some of the things that we tried to execute. And, one of the things that you don't want to create is, people see your vulnerabilities, regardless of what you're doing, whether it's playing offensive line, covering a guy on defense, reading the right things, running the right routes. It really doesn't matter. And those things get exposed down the road if you don't get them fixed. So that's certainly something that we can take away from this game in terms of our consistency, in performance. Um, one thing I would like to say is I know it was a difficult day for our fans because of the circumstances surrounding the weather, and I'd like to thank the fans for supporting the team and, a lot of people hanging in there to try to, support the team. So I think the players really appreciate it. We know there were, it was a difficult circumstance for a lot of folks, and hopefully, our administration will continue to work to try to, play some of these games at a different time. We certainly look forward to the SEC opener, this week. Will Muschamp has done an outstanding job of building a very, very good program in South Carolina. They had a successful season a year ago. They're a very well-coached team in every phase of the game. Their guys play hard. They sort of reflect the personality of their coach, and this is a good football team. They've got a lot of veteran players coming back. I think 15 starters, and both their specialists, kicker and punter. Their offense is, second in, I think, the SEC or whatever, over 500 yards a game. They're leading the SEC in rushing with 310 yards a game. They've got a really good offensive line. They've got some really good skill players, a couple good wide receivers. Thought the freshman quarterback played flawlessly, last week for, first game he's played in. They do a lot of things on offense which are very difficult to defend. Defensively, they've got good players. They've got a good front. These guys are aggressive. They play extremely well, and this is by far the best special teams group that we played, specialist and special teams, certainly this year, but really ranks right up there with anybody that we've ever played against. So this is not an easy place to play, and, we're going to have to do a great job of getting our guys ready to play certainly their best football game of the season to have success in this kind of environment against this kind of quality football team.
Coach, we'll start here in the middle with Michael.
Yeah, just wonder your assessment of Jalen Waddle and his punt return style.
Well, obviously we had, one big return called back because of very poor decision, by a player in terms of blocking the back. So he has been very productive. We get a lot of alternative kicks, which takes great judgment on his part as to when do I field the ball, when do I not field the ball, when do I stick it in the middle, when it's a middle return, and when do I try to get outside. So he's always done a pretty good job of that. We certainly want to continue to help him improve at his decision making so that we can have the best production possible in this area.
Coach, back over to Charlie.
We saw Jordan Battle and Daniel Wright on the field to start the game this last Saturday. What went into that decision, and what did you see from those guys in the game?
Well, I thought, those guys both played well. It was an opportunity for them to get some experience, and they did, and, we sort of rotated guys around, back there quite a bit in the game. I think there were 7 or 8 guys that were playing in different circumstances and different situations, and there's nothing really that led to it other than, I wanted to get those guys a chance to play some.
Coach, Will, back with Season.
Coach, South Carolina's had to go from Jake Bentley to a freshman quarterback, Kalinsky. What could you tell about him from the one game that he started?
Well, he played great. I mean, the guy was like, I don't know, 26 for 30 or whatever, and they had a lot of yards. And he certainly didn't look like a freshman quarterback out there. He's a good athlete. He's got a good arm. He was very accurate. He made good decisions. He got rid of the ball. He got the ball out of his hand quickly. And he executed the offense extremely well. So, no disrespect, because we think, Bentley is a really good quarterback and certainly experienced guy, but they didn't miss a beat, in this game in terms of the quarterback position.
Coach, go up front with John.
Speaking of not missing a beat, it seems like Jerry Jeudy has come back, and could you kind of talk about his work ethic and in spite of how well he did last season, finding ways to improve and approaching the season like he apparently has?
Well, Jerry's done a good job, and, he's been very productive. I think with all receivers, the constant sort of thing that we're trying to get our guys to do is, we want you to play great when you have the ball, but we also want you to play great when you don't have the ball. And I think that's in general theme that we want to sort of get across to, all of our guys, because, whether it's a running play, whether it's a passing play where you're not getting the ball and you have to block, or you got to convert an RPO into blocking, these things are critical to helping your teammates. No different than your teammates better do a good job when you get the ball, or you won't have a chance to be successful. So Jerry's been pretty good with the ball, and as a group, we would like to improve a little bit when we don't have the ball.
In what ways has Tua grown mentally in running an offense and both making right decisions when the ball snapped?
Well, Tua's got more knowledge and experience of the offense, right now, and I think that he's more confident in understanding not only what to do, but why it's important to do it. And I think he's got a lot more knowledge of what the defense is actually trying to do and how they'll respond and react to certain things. And that should help him in his decision-making and judgments. And I don't think we were real crisp in the passing game. I'm not talking about any fault of Tua's, but just, sort of sloppy in protection, sloppy in route running, calling 7-man protections and getting too much pressure in the pocket. I mean, we just got a lot of things to clean up in the passing game.
What do you remember from the 2010 game against South Carolina? And do you ever use that game as an example to other teams of, staying on the process and that season in general, actually?
What year are we in now? 2019? So most of our guys were in grade school, when that happened. But what I remember from it, is we got the line and kicked out of our britches. I don't know if you know what that means, but that means you get your butt kicked so bad you got no seam in the back of your pants. Yeah, I remember that. But I'll ask the players today if when they were in 6th grade, do they remember it? But we'll see. And if they don't remember it, I don't know how it motivates them, but I know this is a tough place to play, and we got a lot of respect for the team that we're playing. And I think that the players on our team need to have the proper respect in terms of what they need to do to prepare to play a good team like this.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thank you.